Stories tonight in Y News. The Department of Information and Communications Technology reveals that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is losing patience over the slow distribution of national identification. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board explains that the processing time for transmitting fuel subsidies to operators will depend on the land bank of the Philippines. Some residents in Calayan, Cagayan opt to stay outdoors while others spent the night in an evacuation center following last night's earthquake. And the Pentagon releases a new military strategy aiming to frustrate and disrupt foreign powers that threaten the United States' interest. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, September 13, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has directed the Department of Information and Communications Technology to immediately deploy a national digital identification amid the delays on the delivery of the physical national ID. Nel Maribohok reports.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, said that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is losing patience over the slow distributions of national identifications. DICT Secretary Ivan Jan Uy revealed that the long delay, about 4 years or 5 years, in the issuance of the physical national ID has made the public impatient, not the least President Marcos himself.
The President has expressed his impatience because a lot of things needed to be done, and it's all dependent on the deployment of a national ID.
The DICT chief said the President has not issued any ultimatum to them as regards the completion of the distribution of the national IDs. The Secretary vowed that his agency would do its best to release the digital versions of the national IDs.
We need to deploy this national digital ID soonest because that will now remove all the opportunities to utilize all these other government IDs that have far less verification.
The National Economic and Development Authority already said that the management and production of digital national IDs had been transferred to the DICT from the Philippine Statistics Authority. The PSA has captured the data of around 80 million individuals for the national ID. The DICT needs access to the PSA's database to deploy the ID in digital format. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. attended the 10th Asia Summit in Singapore. The president invited foreign businesses to invest in the Philippines as he emphasized that the country is open for business and there is a good reason to choose the Philippines as an investment destination.
Incentives, tax breaks, and robust legal frameworks that safeguard the interests of foreign investors. Intellectual property rights are protected, ensuring that innovation flourishes within our borders.
While in Singapore, the president will also be meeting with other business leaders. On the other hand, the chief executive, upon the invitation of Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, will attend the finals of Formula One Singapore Grand Prix 2023. The House Committee on Appropriations ends deliberations on the 5.768 trillion pesos 2024 proposed budget. Meanwhile, House Committee on Appropriations Senior Vice Chairperson and Marikina City Representative Stella Kimbo says they target to begin the plenary debates on September 27. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The House Committee on Appropriations terminated the deliberations on 5.768 trillion pesos budget for 2024 on Tuesday, September 12. It was on August 10 when they began to scrutinize the budget proposal for every government agency. According to House Committee on Appropriations Senior Vice Chairperson and Marikina City 2nd District Representative Stella Kimbo, the budget deliberations of the House panel terminated on time. Meanwhile, the target start of the plenary debates is on September 19. The House of Representatives is also eyeing to pass House Bill number 8980 or the Fiscal 2024 General Appropriations Bill on third and final reading on September 27.
That's really number one. Kasi syempre, ayaw natin ng delay. Ang pinakamabigat na ayaw natin mangyari is yung ma-re-enact ng budget.
When asked about what government agency might suffer budget cuts, the lawmaker refused to answer.
Mahirap magsalita at this point. Baka syempre, baka magtampo mga ahensya, di ba? So, and at the same time, may plenary debates pa naman talaga. At so, wag muna natin i-judge at this point in time. Kasi yung pagkilatis talaga is really going to happen pa sa plenary debates.
The session of the House of Representatives is until September 29 and will be on adjournment from September 30 to November 5, 2023. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections will meet the Philippine National Police leadership tomorrow to discuss areas of concern for the upcoming Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Philippine National Police or PNP is expected to submit to the Commission on Elections or COMELEC the list of areas of concern for the upcoming Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections or BSKE tomorrow, September 14. The PNP will also discuss with COMELEC their recommendation. However, the poll body has the final decision which areas across the country will be put under COMELEC control.
Meron pong sa Western Samar na 6 na barangay na sinabi. Hindi ko pwedeng i-release pa ngayon, i-confirm namin tomorrow.
Meanwhile, as part of contingency measures for BSKE, the COMELEC will train about 400 PNP personnel that will serve as substitute electoral board members or EBs if there would be violence during the elections.
Especially in Mindanao areas. Ayaw naming magtumpik-tumpik o magbaka sakali. Just in case lang na merong isang lugar na hindi makakapaglingkod ang mga electoral board members ang ating mga guro, ay meron kaming pang substitute sa kanila.
Last 2022 national and local elections, some teachers did not serve as EBs due to election-related violence in Cotabato. The training for teachers who will be serving on election day begins this Saturday, September 16, 2023. Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board explains that the processing time for transmitting fuel subsidies to operators will depend on the Land Bank of the Philippines. This comes after some operators were dismayed to discover that their accounts remain with the same balance. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Earlier today, on September 13, public utility jeep drivers checked their bank accounts to see if the fuel subsidy have been transferred. As the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB announced the start of distribution. Angelico Aguilar, a jeepney driver at the Tandang Sora Terminal, was among those who checked their accounts.
Chinek ko kanina nung nandoon nga ako sa bahay. Chinek ko lang via sa cellphone lang kasi pwede naman sa cellphone eh. App ng Land Bank yun eh. Bali pag check ko kanina wala pa eh.
He expressed his expectation of the fuel subsidy due to the continuous increase in fuel prices.
Kailangan namin siya ngayon dahil ang taas ng gasolina talaga eh. Nung diesel mataas talaga yung yung nakakamagkano kami, halos 1,000 sa diesel pa lang sa isang araw eh. Kaya kailangan din namin ng tulong kahit papaano.
In a press conference this afternoon, the LTFRB stated that it is up to the Land Bank of the Philippines how long it will take to transmit the fuel subsidy to the individual accounts of the targeted beneficiaries. LTFRB Chairman Attorney Chofilo Guadis III assured that the fuel subsidy fund from the Department of Budget and Management has already been deposited into Land Bank. Today, approximately 50,000 public utility vehicle operators across the country will receive the fuel subsidy, while others will have their processing handled by the bank within this week.
It's up now for Land Bank kung gaano po nila kabilis iproseso yung mga perang dinownload na po ng gobyerno. But insofar as the LTFRB is concerned, downloaded na po yung pera. So nasa processing na po ng Land Bank yung how fast can they credit the money to the individual accounts of the operators.
Kanina po may tawagan po kami ng manager po ng Land Bank na siyempre po sa dami po ng accounts na kanilang i-credit. So pipilitin po nila kung ano po yung pinakamabilis po na mai-credit. Yeah.
Based on the LTFRB's projected numbers, over 1.3 million PUV operators, delivery riders, and tricycle drivers are expected to receive the fuel subsidy. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, Poland has appealed to the European Union for an extension of the ban on Ukrainian grain imports. Lito Liquido will tell us why live. Yes, Joselito, good evening.
Good evening, Elsie. Poland Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has formally requested that the European Commission prolong the prohibition on Ukrainian corn, wheat, sunflower, and rapeseed beyond the imminent deadline. Morawiecki also asserted via Twitter that Poland will not allow Ukraine grain to flood the country, reaffirming Poland's commitment to keeping its borders closed to Ukrainian grain and protect its domestic farming industry. Speaking to farmers in Kosovo-Laki, Morawiecki highlighted the upcoming parliamentary elections on October 15 and the Law and Justice Party's efforts to court farmer voters. Poland has supported Ukraine during the ongoing conflict, but has faced farmer protests leading to the ban on Ukrainian agricultural imports. Under a prior agreement with the EU, Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, Slovakia, and Romania had imposed a grain embargo from April to September 15 to shield their farmers from adverse effects. EU Agriculture Commissioner Janusz Wojciechowski, Poland's former agricultural minister, is actively working on extending the embargo. Morawiecki also emphasized that Poland might take unilateral actions if the European Union or EU doesn't grant the extension, as they are determined to maintain market stability. In response, Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal expressed concerns over the ban and hinted at potential legal action, invoking the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade Norms if trade law violations occur for political reasons. Meanwhile, the European Parliament will also discuss the matter. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, reporting live from Malaysia. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Elsie. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Defense Secretary Gilberto Gibo-Teodoro Jr. breezes through the powerful Commission on Appointments as he garnered overwhelming support from lawmakers. This report will tell us why.
The Commission on Appointments, or CA, confirms the ad interim appointment of Gilberto Gibo-Teodoro Jr. as Secretary of the Department of National Defense, or DND. No one from the 12-member House contingent asked questions to Teodoro, with Camarines Sur 2nd District Representative Elney Villafuerte citing courtesy to Teodoro being a former congressman. Other lawmakers were also quick to vouch their support to Teodoro.
He has no issues of corruption. He's a brilliant man. He was my candidate for president in 2010, so I campaigned for him. I think he's not just qualified, but he's overqualified for the job. maliit pa si Secretary Gibo, nagpakita na siya ng talino. I do not doubt his capability to become the leader of the Department of National Defense.
In the Senate contingent, only Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros and Senator Cynthia Villar posed questions to the Secretary. One of the issues asked by Hontiveros is the implication on the country's national security of state-owned Chinese enterprises operating in public services and the entry of Chinese workers for big-ticket infrastructure projects. Teodoro says companies owned by the Chinese government do not pose a problem as they have default control over them and can be monitored.
It's the activities that we cannot see, like yung pagpasok po ng mga workers dito na dapat gawin ang trabaho po ng ating mga kababayan. Yan po ang nakakabahala. Hindi lang po hindi makatarungan para sa ating mga kababayan, ito po ay security risk dahil may problema po tayo na mamonitorin itong mga ito, lalo na po kung labas-pasok. So, ang aking pong mas gustong malaman po at pinag-iigtingan po namin ang mga covert economic activities and information activities na hindi po litaw na nangyayari.
The issue on the proposed military and uniformed personnel or MUP pension reform was also raised. Teodoro says they are now in support of the House's version of the bill where both the retired and active military personnel will not be included in the mandatory contribution. He adds he is open to require the new entrants to contribute, but hopes otherwise, citing the morale and welfare of military members. The defense chief also bats for the creation of the AFP Retirement Trust Fund to be financed by the AFP share from the Basis Conversion and Development Authority and proceeds from the remaining properties of the AFP and D&D left from the abolished retirement and separation benefits system.
Ang current pensioners po natin ay 138,000 lamang. At hindi natataas po ito dahil ang Armed Forces of the Philippines hindi na po lalaki. Hindi po tulad ng kapulisan at ibang mga services na may ratio of policeman or fireman to population. So, kung hindi po natin i-secure din ang retirement nila, ready, willing, and able po ang private sector na kunin sila sa special skills po na kanilang nalalaman. Like our Senator Aimee said, let's cool down passions so we can really talk numbers in a less volatile environment.
Aside from Teodoro, the CA also confirms the nomination and ad interim appointments of 11 AFP generals and senior officers and 3 foreign service officers of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A lawmaker wants the Senate to look into the recent government policies on regulating rice supply and prices. Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros files a resolution seeking to investigate what she calls the uncoordinated and contradicting rice regulation policies of the Marcos administration. The senator cites the recent price cap on well-milled and regular milled rice, which she says economists have opposed due to its negative impact to local farmers and retailers. Hontiveros also notes that even Finance Secretary Benjamin Jokna admitted that the economic team was not consulted on the mandatory price ceiling. The opposition senator believes there is a lack of leadership, coordination, and cohesion in the country's policies on rice regulation. Internet connection still has not been restored to many residents in Barangay Industrial Valley Complex in Marikina City 1 week after 2 electric poles toppled in the area. Residents call on their telco companies to speed up the repairs. According to the barangay administration, 70% of the internet connection has yet to be restored because the repair of poles and the removement of internet wires
ng permit, yung PLDT na lang at saka red fiber, yung sinasabing wala pa. Ngayon, siguro kaya medyo talagang naapektuhan pa tayo, gawa ng may mga papalitan pa kasing poste para maayos, mas maayos. Kasi kung magkakabit na sila, tapos magpapalit ng poste, tatanggalin din. Magdodoble trabaho at mas lalong mapiperwisyo.
Meralco previously stated that they will no longer allow telcos and internet providers to connect to their posts without securing a permit.
We will need to assess kung ano yung merong permiso mula sa amin at kung ano yung wala. Kasi kailangan merong right to attach, so to speak. No? Kung wala, kung yan ay basta na lang kinabit doon, hindi maaari yun. So kailangan kasama na dyan yung thorough review ng mga nakakabit sa amin, and then we will act accordingly.
And in other global news, the Pentagon has released a new military strategy aiming to frustrate and disrupt foreign powers that threaten the United States' interests. Ann Gonzalez tells us why.
The Pentagon has reinforced its cyberspace policies in a new military document released Tuesday, September 12, strengthening its counter-offensive strategy to frustrate and disrupt China's cyber operatives and other foreign powers with malicious cyber schemes. The Department of Defense's new strategy, which was patterned from a close study of Russia's war in Ukraine, casts the United States military hacking capabilities as an important part of power projection. Senior cyber official Miki Oyang said on Tuesday that persistent threats in cyberspace mean that there is a need to disrupt foreign powers.
We cannot simply defend our way out of a problem. There is a recognition that we will, as the department, need to disrupt adversary malicious cyber activity coming at the United States, and we have been doing so.
In May of this year, China allegedly hacked critical infrastructure providers in some U.S. territories, which the Chinese government denied and in turn accused Washington of conducting hacking operations in China. Moreover, the new Pentagon strategy said that China will likely use its cyber intelligence in the event of any conflict with the United States over Taiwan or other similar issues. Ann Gonzalez, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A British Red Cross emergency fundraising appeal has been launched in response to the recent flooding in Libya's eastern city of Derna. Richard Blewett, Executive Director of International for the British Red Cross, expressed that their priority is to search and rescue as many lives as possible through the response of Red Cross teams. The arrival of Storm Daniel on Sunday left a part of eastern Libya devastated and has smashed through dams and wiped out entire neighborhoods, killing thousands of people. At the latest, 1,500 more bodies were uncovered, while the toll is expected to reach 10,000 due to the number of people that were reported to be missing still. Mr. Blewett updated that the situation in Libya is extremely dangerous and sadly reported that 3 Libyan Red Crescent volunteers lost their lives while on their mission. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
The southwest monsoon is affecting many areas in the country. Based on the monitoring of the Philippine Weather Bureau Pag-asa, as of 3 p.m. today, September 13, scattered rain showers and thunderstorms will be experienced in Metro Manila, Pangasinan, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao, Soc-Sargen, Barm, Agusan del Norte, Surigao del Norte, and Dinagat Islands. The rest of the country will also experience isolated rain showers and thunderstorms due to the effects of the southwest monsoon. Meanwhile, the low-pressure area, or LPA, within the Philippine Area of Responsibility is located at 490 kilometers east-northeast of Itbayat, Batanes. Pag-asa stated that it has no direct effect on the country and is also less likely to intensify into a tropical cyclone. The second round of preliminaries for the UNTV Volleyball League will begin tomorrow. Every win is important because it will determine who will advance to the next round. Rina Villamor Camara reports.
Reset pa lang tayo. Magpatay. Lores passes. Major Hake.
Exciting volleyball games have been witnessed by fans, brought by 6 teams participating in the UNTV Volleyball League since the opening games last August 20, 2023. Similar to the UNTV Cup, the UVL is a charity tournament where each participating team selects beneficiaries to receive their cash prize winnings. This week marked the conclusion of the first round of preliminaries. The AFP Lady Gunners dominated the 5 other teams to take the lead in the league with a clean 5-0 win-loss record. And tomorrow, the second round of preliminaries will commence. Each team will once again have 5 matches. Victories in the upcoming games are crucial as they will determine the 4 teams that will advance to the semi-finals knockout games. Highlighted in tomorrow's triple header is the clash between the PNP Lady Patrollers and DFA Emissaries at 1 p.m. to be held at the Paco Arena in Manila. The PNP has a high morale, having only been defeated by the AFP in the first round. They are now looking to strengthen their arsenal to bolster their offense.
Sabi ko sa mga player ko, i-improve nila yung service nila kasi ngayon yung error namin more on service at saka sa receive ko.
Meanwhile, the DFA is hoping the experience in past games will improve the team's chemistry and allow them to bounce back. In the second game, watch out for the rematch between the Judiciary Lady Servers and Senate Lady Defenders at 3 p.m. The Senate defeated the Judiciary in their September 3 cardiac match that went to 4 sets. So expect a fierce battle as the Lady Servers seek redemption against the Lady Defenders. According to Senate head coach Roger Grayab, they will be even more focused in the second round.
Kung i-gauge ko yung performance nila, maganda yun kasi natututo na sila eh. Hindi katulad dati yung laro, balikan lang. Ngayon natututo naman sila. Kaya masaya ako, kaya lang dapat be more focus on the game, huwag matataranta, more cohesiveness, more patience, huwag magmamadali. Yan lang.
In the third game, the Ombudsman Graftbusters will attempt to halt the winning momentum of the AFP Lady Gunners in their match at 5 p.m. However, the Graftbusters admit that it's a significant challenge, especially as they need to improve their players' endurance against the well-practiced military team.
Ayun po ang wino-workout namin. Palakasin pa yung katawan ng player. Tapos, kung wala naman po silang ginagawa, kung nasa bahay lang, kahit extra workout, jogging, core, kailangan nila mag-core para din magpalakasin ng katawan.
The Lady Gunners, on the other hand, will rely on their discipline in following their rehearsed play.
Ano pa rin naman, same strategies pa rin naman. So, kung ano kasi sila kung ano yung talagang pinapractice namin sa practice, so i-apply lang nila sa game. So, kaya nagiging ganun yung resulta ng game, nagiging maganda.
According to AFP head coach Miriam Go, they also have noticed the improvement of other teams, so they will step up on their preparation.
Kasi yung mga teams na, other teams, siyempre naghahanda sila. So nag-i-improve din sila. So dapat kami din, iaangat pa rin namin yung performance ng bawat isa.
Rina Villamor Camera, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasambahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 15, it says, "See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men." And those are the reasons behind the news September 13, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I am Hardin Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.